Hello, collectors. It's Steven here with a review of the Gigabrain King Ghidorah, a highly sought after collectible, some hailing it to be the best Ghidorah figure on the market. Some say beginner collectors wonder if it's worth the plunge, and veteran collectors might want to catch up. Is this figure worth it? Well, let's take a look to see whether or not it's worth adding into your collection. Okay, so first off, there are a ton of different color schemes for this guy. Gold and silver, black and silver, neon green, neon pink, metallic blue, metallic purple. And then there's a closed mouth variant of pretty much all of the previous mentioned colorways and other ones that I haven't mentioned. So there are a ton of different variants of this figure. Today, we're taking a look at the all gold variant, which was, I believe, exclusive to Summer One Fest 2015. That's short for Wonder Festival. That's right, kids. Wonderfest is a convention held in Kentucky. Anyway, the sculpt is really well done, but I have a few gripes with the paint. So the heads, they look really nice with the red eyes. Very creepy, and it does capture the majesty, if you will, of King Ghidorah. The horns are well defined, as are the facial features, but the right horn here on the right head has a paint scuff. The figure was only bumped once on the tail, I'll get to that in a bit, and I have no clue how this happened. Anyway, the chest is very bulky and you can see all of the scales clearly defined. And going down to the legs and feet, this trend continues. Wonderfully defined scales. The wings are nice and big, with details to make it look like the material that was used for the movie was also used here for the figure. But there are some other issues. One, there's all this fuzzy looking crap in the paint. That's not dust or the like, that's in the paint. Now, the other issue. There's paint rub on the right wing. What? Again, how did this happen? Can't necessarily be user error because it sat on a shelf, away from a wall, or other figures for months, only to be picked up when it was dusted and when it was first placed on the shelf. Obviously for the review, but I noticed that right before taking the pictures for the review. Anyway, a look at the back of King Ghidorah, you'll see that it's very impressive with spikes on the neck, leading all the way down to the middle of the back where you can see the scales are still well done, and we'll take a look at the tail. So anyway, like I made mention before on the tips, when I was dusting it, I unfortunately managed to drop a brush, and the metal nicked the tips, and it chipped the paint right off. So while it looks nice, it's very temperamental in the paint department, and I would highly suggest putting this guy in a glass cabinet. Wonderful display piece though, let me make that clear. Ghidorah does have some articulation, but keep in mind it's more of a byproduct of the assembly process than it is intended to be an action figure. So we have some swivels at the base of the necks, where they would be for the shoulders, let's say, and then we have some swivels for the head at the top of the necks. We do have some thigh swivels, though you're not really going to be moving them around too much, and where the wings connect into the body, which I'll show you next, there is a little bit of a swivel, so if you really feel the need to spin those around, you can. You can technically get the tail to spin around a little bit too, however, due to the design, I really would suggest not doing so. No accessories except for the header card, and I don't own the figure anymore, and I forgot to snap a pic of that. Oops. But you do have to assemble the figure, so it's kind of an accessory. The wings are packed with paper to give it a nice heft, and it's for stability, but be prepared to really heat this son of a bitch up to get those wings in. And now your size comparison. As you can see, he is huge and would look even bigger in Trump's little hands. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Back when the yen exchange rate was complete garbage, people were paying upwards of $325 for this guy after all fees were said and done. Screw that. At about the current going rate of $200-$250, which it even has some difficulty moving at that price point for some reason, and it's depending on the variant, of course, it's about worth that price if you like stylized vinyls. The sculpt is nice, but that paint seems like it's not top coated too well, which means easy damage with the most simple of bumps. And I hate to say this, but even Bandai America gets that right. So I do wonder what's going on here. If you've been eyeing this and you've got the cash, just be extra careful and you will get a phenomenal display piece for your shelves. Don't get me wrong, this thing is big and it is surely eye-catching. However, if you're a newer collector or you're maybe someone who's younger who's looking to play with the big boys, because for whatever reason there are people who really like to make that separation, but whatever, save your money Get some of the marmots brought over by Diamond, play around with them a little bit, see if it's your thing, then make your decision. Because while this is big and it is pretty, if you're not familiar with vinyls, you may not necessarily feel like you got your money's worth. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below to share your thoughts. If you're interested in picking this figure up or others like it, check the description for some cool links to take you where you need to go. Why don't you watch some more videos? Click the annotations on the screen now for more great content. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next video.